You're listening to the Unreasonable Fridays podcast network.
Because I'm unable to attend the twerk off that's happening somewhere in Texas in honor of Martin Luther King. We'll have to.
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
I saw an ad for a twerk off somewhere in one of these Texas towns where, like, out of Austin, like an hour out of Austin, they're having a twerk off, and I'm not able to go and honor my ancestors by judging and then placing money on and then winning the bet for who wins the twerk off.
Oh, there's a twerk. Oh, right. Because I was like, it's a twerking contest. That is what a twerk off would be. It would be a competition.
It's a competition. So I know you can place bets. And as a trained esthetician, I would be probably better at picking the winner of that contest than most people. So if I could go, I would make back the money that I spent going, but I'm not able to make it. So we just have to record and celebrate MLK Day in our own way. Go ahead, stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Welcome to another episode of AddSpace. I'm your host, Aaron Rand Freeman. But with me, the actual host, the CEO, CFO, a chief brand officer, a lead designer, lead therapist, head of payroll, transportation czar, and office manager, Elise Bacon. How are you?
Wait, why am I the transportation czar? I don't leave.
Yeah, you do.
When? Where?
Did you go to a doctor's appointment?
No.
This week you didn't leave to go to a doctor's appointment?
No.
Well, I left to go get lunch, and then I had to check in with you, and then you gave me a thumbs up emoji, which means you're the transportation czar.
Isn't that just the office manager? Like, hey, I'm going to lunch. Okay, cool. Come back. I'll see you later. See you in 30. Like, isn't that just general office manager shit?
I think the office manager is, well, when I said that there was a miscommunication and I have to physically go get lunch, and you gave me a thumbs up emoji, that's office managing, right? But then when I said I'm gonna have to leave, like, is it the nuances of your many jobs is of such that you were in fact the office manager one sentence and became the transportation czar the next sentence, able to encompass all of these interactions into a single thumbs up reaction.
You're
in the
so
chat
hard.
box. What I'm trying to do is respect the sheer amount of labor that you perform in service of Unreasonable Fridays. And I think it's important that your work is honored as best we can honor it. And if you're listening, it's important that you let Bacon know that you respect everything they do as chief brand officer, lead designer, payroll manager, transportation czar, CFO, CEO, lead therapist. It's a very labor-intensive position, and you do it really well, and you've done it very well for so many years that it just shouldn't be me celebrating you. Everyone who listens should be celebrating you and everything you've done for Unreasonable Fridays. The level of efficiency that you've established as both office manager and transportation czar to be able to have all of it happening and be able to respond in a single thumbs up react. That's efficiency. That's the infrastructure that you've put in to the day-to-day happenings at Unreasonable Fridays. And kudos to you for that, Bacon.
Oh. I see. Sorry, everybody. About halfway through, my eyes glazed over.
Listen,
it was something after the list of titles.
I understand
that I just kind of checked out.
I understand that it's very difficult for people to accept praise now. In 2023 now, that people have a hard time accepting praise, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to do it.
I feel like it's not the praise, it's the verbosity.
I think it's important that you be, good job. What the fuck is that? It's cool. Problem with people is they don't praise each other very well. So the thing, we have a lot of negative words for a lot of shit. Everything is starving. Everything sucks. We hate everything. And then somebody does something good, and you, okay, good job. That's cool. Thumbs up reacts. Okay emojis. Or okay.
Who uses okay emojis? Who uses like the basic emojis anymore?
Listen.
If it's not a custom emoji, it's out of style.
Listen, professionally, there's still
That's
a lot
a sign of old.
It is.
We're dated. Hello, millennials and older Gen X's.
Listen, we're not practiced at celebrating each other. That's all. So I make sure I do it in great detail. I'm never gonna just be good job, Bigot. High five. Never gonna be me. So I apologize for wasting your time, but you're gonna have to deal with it. You're awesome as a CEO, CFO, lead designer, chief brand manager, office manager. Travels are office manager. Pretty awesome. Now, how are you?
I just found out that I leveled up in my D&D campaign and that I get to take one magic item of any rarity and we get to choose 3 magic items, submit them to our DM, and the DM will choose.
Oh, that's cool.
This is very important for me. I have to find something that will fight more undead or just be really obnoxious. I live here now. Maybe some good plate mail, although it looks like there's no good plate mail for clerics in this fucking game that's not race specific. Hate it here. Anyway.
Is that how you are?
What?
That is how you are. Is you were leveled up in your D&D
Yes,
campaign.
I missed today's D&D game because I'm crafting and recording and tried to do homework, and then I'm supposed to be helping run the new Alliance raid later. There's a lot going on. I have some quizzes to do and some discussion posts with my schoolwork, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't think I can fit everything into D&D today.
I have my doubts as to what's going to get done at all today.
Stuff has gotten done. We are currently recording, so this is something that's getting done.
Oh, true.
Or are we not recording? Dun, dun, dun.
Secret recording.
Secret recording.
So you're also a student on top of all the professional duties you perform for Unreasonable Fridays. You're also a student.
I am a full-time student officially. God help my soul.
Yeah.
It's bad. So I always knew I have really bad school anxiety because during my wee formative years, I have had numerous cases of instructors or people in places of power over my small child self in the public school system and private school system, where they decided that because I do not fit with their definitions of an acceptable student, I get to be failed. And some of those involve race. Some of those involve disability. But I have had some extremely very racially charged situations in pretty much all of my school history, to the point where I have massive school anxiety, but also because of the outcome of this injury that just went a completely different direction that nobody was expecting. Like nobody really expected that I would get chronic fatigue syndrome out of this. It has made it to where I can no longer work in my admittedly already dying industry, but I have nowhere, can't work anywhere. And so I need to get a piece of paper that tells me I can work and that hopefully I can work from home because of the kind of job it is. So I'm back in school, full of anxiety, lots of anxiety, so much anxiety. My emotional regulation is completely destroyed. It's super great.
All right.
Although some new medication did help me get through my finals, which was nice.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, and then it turns out that one of the pills, the emotion regulating one specifically for the bipolar disorder, gives me nightmares, and that, you know what does not work with chronic fatigue syndrome? Not sleeping. Sleep doesn't really recharge my battery like it does with normal people, and so not sleeping means it's extra not recharging.
Is it because of sleeping with the nightmares, or just sleeping in general doesn't work the way it used to?
Well, so you know when you have a phone and it might be dying, and you have a charger and it might be dying, and you have like no money to replace either?
Yes.
And so you're not sure if your phone's just not charging fully. Well, you know it's not charging fully. It's not charging like the way it used to, but you're not quite sure what the issue is, but everything's a little fucky.
Right.
The battery's fucky, the charger's fucky.
Yeah.
That's my body. So now imagine that like you left your phone unplugged, you forgot to charge your phone, and then you wake up in the middle of the night to plug your phone in, and then you've got to use it in the morning and it's at 15%.
Yes.
Yeah. So the nightmares are putting me at 15%.
That is an amazing metaphor for a terrible thing that's happening to you.
My therapist says I am really great at metaphors.
I know. I've told you that. But I cannot ask you for a metaphor. I can only hope that the metaphors happen. In asking you to repeat anything, in asking you to do or execute any of your considerable talents, I will be met with crickets. It's very Michigan J. Frog-esque, and I've learned to navigate that by not asking you to do anything, but recording everything you do.
I'm told that that's actually like an ADHD thing.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. I have it's always been a running gag. I don't think I've ever encountered out of everyone I've ever recorded with ADHD, I've never been able to tell them, "Hey, you do a thing." It's complete blank. So it's fine.
No.
It's a joke, but don't worry, I don't hold you to it. I just kind of let the chips fall where they may. So the silence is good for gags, though.
It is. It's like, hey, do the thing.
And it's even as much as just talk. Like, hey, say something into the microphone. That's why I just ask questions.
Yeah, if you ask questions, you'll get like 5 to 10 minutes of an answer.
Najela has found the best workaround. She always says, penis. Every time. Every time I go say something in the microphone, she goes, penis, or she sings it, or she says it in a different voice, but that's always the first thing she says. And that's fine. That is, and listen, when I say something into the mic because I'm testing something, I absolutely do not care what you say. And penis is a perfect, and if you are listening again, and anyone is testing audio, if anyone says, can you say something into the microphone? You can say penis. And from what I understand, it is the easiest thing to say. So I'm putting it on the table, and if you freeze up, you can probably pry that open. It's a penis. Doesn't matter what the context is. That's my pro tip for the day. Might as well shut the show down. I don't think we're going to be able to move on from there.
Nope, I think that one's it. I think the title of the episode, when in doubt, say penis.
Okay.
Hey, I called the show notes.
Yes, yeah.
This is...
All right. So, the biggest problem is that, like, so there's news happening, but I'm of the mind where I don't care about vast majorities of it because I'm playing games and taking in media. Like, all I really, like, I don't know. You ever see all the talks about what Pokemon tastes like? And,
I avoid those like the plague.
right. There's a whole.
Sorry. I avoid those like responsible people who avoid the plague.
Oh, I see. That's shady. That's shady. And true though. We didn't act right. We didn't handle the plague well. We didn't act right. We didn't manage it.
I'm just made of shade and spite.
Oh no, it's fine. We didn't handle it well. We really should hold it against everybody who didn't handle it well. You should be shamed for the rest of your natural life, outwardly and openly, by groups of people of varying levels of varying ages and diversity levels. So, yeah, I get it. Did you know there is an anime where there are Pokemon and they get eaten? There's an old anime called Toriko. Like it's like takes place in like some gourmet age where like the food's amazing, but it like for the most part comes from effectively Pokemon.
Like, is it actually Pokemon, or is this
it's like they're like
Pokemon knockoff?
They're animals of varying sizes and strength and powers, but they're not trained. They're eaten within reason. They're not being like hunted to extinction. They're just like, it's a gourmet age because there are these delicacies that come from the careful hunting and processing of small numbers of essentially Pokemon.
But not Pokemon TM.
No.
Pokemon
Well, no. Understand. Listen. Ain't nobody
No,
ever
no,
gonna...
I just had to make sure.
The Pokemon-like creatures. Ain't nothing gonna be Pokemon but Nintendo's... You cannot say Pokemon 10 times on the internet. I'm already at 8. I can no longer repeat that word on this program without being sued. Ain't no way. That's inferred. Pokemon-like substance. And they are eaten. And it makes me laugh because I'm like, for all this talk about eating Pokemon, no one has mentioned this anime where people are eating Pokemon, like as a culture. I actually recommend we're gonna have to watch an episode or 2 of it.
No, I don't wanna. Okay, fine.
Yeah, you're under their gun. It's very cute. It's just like, yeah, it's just like, it's the question that Pokemon always left. It's like, if you guys eat animals, then how do you choose which animals? And this show is like, no, we eat the Pokemon animals. We just don't eat all of them. And some of them can't be eaten because they're too strong. And there's this guy who's like a gourmet hunter and is essentially like a high level Monster Hunter character, like how you can 1v1 a dinosaur in Monster Hunter. And and it's just like, he can take down an animal, and if it needs to be killed, and he only kills what he eats, and he'll eat like a demon snake, and he'll just have it all chopped up like filleted and shit. He'll eat it. And it's a great show. It's absolute nonsense, but it answers all the Pokemon eating questions that we've been having right there. I'm surprised no one mentioned it to me. Also,
I've never heard it.
Never heard of Toriko, Gourmet Hunter, or whatever?
I have not, but now I have to look it up now.
Yeah, now you got to look it up. I didn't know there was a thing. It's I love it. I'll talk more about it. I'm going to wait till Justin's on because Justin might know what I'm talking about.
He might. He does have a collection of anime cursed and not cursed.
Or Jarrett, who is...
Jarrett better have heard. I would be shocked if Jarrett hadn't heard it.
Jarrett has heard of every anime that ever existed. Yeah. He's the best anime algorithm I've ever seen. Like, if you tell him you're watching one anime, he will then provide you with 15 completely accurate recommendations of other anime.
Tailored to your tastes.
Kudos to him. But yeah. But like I said, there's so much news, but admittedly, I'm I'm in my own head.
Over these delicious Pokemon like creations.
That's all types of shit. We've got Forspoken comes out next week.
Please, why did you? I just haven't had done with Pokemon. I've barely started Pokemon. I'm still trying to finish Harvestella won't end.
You're still playing Harvestella?
I'm trying to beat it.
How long have you been playing that motherfucker?
I'm not looking anymore. It's just so what happens is I'm absolute. I was like, cool. This should be the final area, and then they're like, psych, here's a new area, and I'm like, oh, this isn't the okay. So this isn't the final boss. This is gonna be the final boss. Cool, dope, bet. New area. Oh, here's an explanation on more of the world, and I'm like, oh. And I saw some people who have played it and beat it in 45 hours, and I'm like, I don't understand. But then I just decided to stop questioning.
I mean, they might have been pushing, like, just fuck everything. Like, absolutely fuck everything.
I imagine that's the case, because I'm just like, but you're just like, so you're not farming, so you're not getting money.
I don't understand it either.
Not upgrading the weapons.
I think now this is something that we can't relate to. And I imagine there are a good number of listeners that can't either. When you have a game where you build yourself up, you spend a certain amount of time building yourself up to engage the game, but also just preemptively so that you don't hit any speed bumps. Am I right?
I hate hitting speed bumps, and I specifically hate grinding at the end.
Yes.
So I like doing my grinding in increments.
Right.
As it like makes sense. Right. So like, because I don't like going back. I don't like going backwards to like get stuff that I might need.
Right.
I want to keep going forward.
Right. That's what you do. And there are moments when you feel comfortable and you just grind the game. Just try to get yourself, make sure a little ahead of the curve. Just try to acquire, just level up a bit, level up skills, acquire items, stock up for a rainy day while you can. It's like you said, having to do that for hours and hours when you'd like to be. Go on.
It was really interesting. Sorry to interrupt, but like on that vein, like I'm like, oh shit, I'm like 10 levels higher than these enemies here, etc. But like I still went through it like normal, and then I get to this new area, and the enemies are the same level as me, and I'm like, excuse me, the what? Okay, so so what I did was the correct action.
Yes. You have to get ready for the next area in the current area that you're in. And this is how it's supposed to be. Like, I find it funny. I find it interesting when people don't do that. I don't know. It kudos to the people who go fly by the seat of their pants. That could not be me. I do not. And this is just, again, any game that costs resources. I hate to find out that I ain't got it. That's what I do in real life. I ain't got it in real life.
It also means that I usually spend twice as much time on the game than most people do.
Right. And rightfully so. I don't want to hear. I hate hearing that I ain't got it in a video game.
And I know I've definitely hit some okay, so one thing that I found that I really like with like the Nintendo Switch is that the Nintendo Switch doesn't have achievements.
Right.
Unlike Steam or whatnot, or Xbox or PS4 or like PlayStation, because like what I found is that every gamer sets arbitrary goals for themselves, like in the game, right?
Right.
Like I'm gonna collect all of this thing, or I'm gonna have like a specific number of this thing, right?
Right.
And so I like to theorize that that's kind of like some of that is like the basis for some of the achievements that like we get, right?
Right.
But like when the achievement isn't listed, we make our own achievements and then we succeed in those achievements.
Yes.
And so there's like a feeling, I have like this feeling of completion and like success, but like I don't have to go look at an achievement list and see like, oh, I only have like 30 out of 45, because what I was thinking of is like my arbitrary, ridiculous like game crunching goals aren't the same as what was decided on for the game.
Agreed.
And inside of Harvestella, there are absolutely trophies, but I don't know how many trophies there are, and I'm not looking them up. And I was kind of surprised when all of a sudden I look up in my loft and there's a gold trophy there, and I was like, oh, hello.
Oh, who delivered this, and who put this trophy case up? Who?
No, it's really funny because there's an attic, right? And then, but the attic's called a loft. And then you wake up in the morning and it says, you hear something in the loft, and you go upstairs and there's just like a fucking giant trophy. It's just a giant statue. Like it is bigger than you, just hanging out in this empty ass attic. And I'm like, the first one, I was like, what does this mean? They change color too. That starts off as like bronze and then silver and then gold. I was just like, what does this mean?
So you only get one, or do you get several?
I have multiple.
And you haven't looked. You don't even look what they mean. You just open the door to the attic and then quickly close it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have a guess on some of them.
I appreciate this, by the way.
But it's like you walk up and it's like, this is a giant chicken. And I'm like, yes, it is.
Do you want to know why? Do you want to know how you want it, Bacon? Nope. Thank you.
It doesn't tell you.
You can't even click on it? Nothing?
I'll have to grab my Switch, but I swear to God, it just says this is a statue of a monster. I don't even know if it says anything. I don't, it's very nondescript. It's you just kind of look at it. I'm pretty sure one of them I have, it's these 4 fairies. I'm pretty sure it's just, you completed all the you unlocked the fairy thing. You completed 60 fairy quests. It's like a hidden achievement.
Well.
But an arbitrary thing I'm doing is so there's an encyclopedia in the game, right?
Right.
And every time you find a monster or you craft something, it shows up in the encyclopedia, right?
Right.
So I am filling out every single ingredient in every single cooking recipe.
Yes, that would be an
achievement. Now, is this on Steam? I have no idea. Am I going to look it up? No, I'm playing on the Nintendo Switch, so I don't care. It is happy brain chemicals without somebody telling me how to get the happy brain chemicals from number completion.
Oh, I agree with you. I don't think I pay attention. I think I only pay attention to certain games achievements at certain times.
I can't not pay attention to them because I never master a game.
What are you talking about? You mastered Final Fantasy?
I mean, no.
You understand a game that you can understand. You can master a game without having mastered all of it.
No. I don't. There's stuff. There's mastering Final Fantasy 14 is trying to master Photoshop.
Yes, and you can be a Photoshop master with big old holes in your game.
No, you can be a master at certain things in Photoshop.
That makes you a master of Photoshop, and then you have.
You can be a master at doing art, painting in Photoshop. You can be a master at doing photo editing or doing graphic design stuff in Photoshop. But finding a person who understands the entire workings of Photoshop is a whole different thing.
Well, that's not reasonable. That's why I said it's you have to, in anime when they have masters of things, they're all differently skilled, but they're all still masters of a thing. Some of them might you have to think of it like Avatar.
The way I operate in Final Fantasy is more of a I do a lot of different things, but I'm not like a master of any one thing. I'm very much a jack of all trades.
You're not a master crafter?
I am not a master crafter, but
Are you sure you're not just fussing with me because you sound like a master crafter?
No, I just spend hours crafting. I'm hitting 2 buttons. There's a level of crafting I just don't have the patience or brain to go to.
What else does master crafting require? Now I'm curious.
Well, I mean, there's like it's a lot of like math and spreadsheets, and I won't do it.
Oh, they're a master of the spreadsheets. I'm just saying, niggas ain't giving themselves enough credit. That's all I'm saying. You ain't giving yourself enough credit for the amount of time you spend crafting and the amount of people you craft for that could never have these items without you.
Oh no, they could. It's just I'm putting the time investment in. That's different.
Then yeah, that's fine. You're master.
No.
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Sorry to break it to you.
No.
I'm sorry.
I'm journeyman level.
The amount of, if we were to break out statistics, they would all argue. So let's not even be forced.
If we were breaking out statistics, they would then ask, well, how many hours do you need to put in to become a master? Because in trades, the master rank is dependent on hours and tests.
All right.
Anyway.
You're a master.
I'm a journeyman, and I can still have an apprentice because I'm a journeyman.
All in all, level up your characters, grind it up. Don't let the game catch you slipping, and then become a master at whatever it is you're doing.
I'm still mad at some of the achievements in some of the games. Like, man, listen. Sorry, I was just thinking about Andromeda, because some of the Andromeda achievements are specifically combat related, and my God, I am not playing another class.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Yeah, whenever I see achievements like that where I got to use every weapon in every class, and I'm just like, no, this is now chipping into my fun time. And like my enjoyment of the game hinges greatly on me doing exactly what I want to be doing at any moment when the game is on. Me having to stop that to then go pick up something I don't want to use on a character class I don't want to be, and then the fun
or make
plummets.
Decisions I don't want to do.
I do not want to do this. No. I did the first God of War on like the first reboot, like 2018, the reboot, whichever. And the trophy system, the trophies were very good with that. It didn't require you to do anything but complete the general map. And it didn't require, there's like a whole difficulty level and everything, but it didn't require you to do any of that. So you could get everything out you could get all the trophies on normal by just doing what the game tells you to do in the normal rhythm of it. You didn't have to spend all your time bouncing between weapons and all that stuff. And I think more achievement lists should be like that. Like, just make it more plausible. Don't require me to beat it on super hard. Don't require that I use every character class and fight every enemy. Just
don't require me to make morally horrible decisions.
Don't make being evil as part of the achievements. Like, just don't make me be evil for the sake of an achievement. Also, don't do that. Yeah, let me grind, but don't force my hand. Or more so, your enjoyment of the game should allow you to push your way into a maximum achievement score. Like, the more you enjoy it within reason, you'll wind up doing everything for the most part that you need to do. That time spinner game I was telling you about earlier. I think I have all the achievements but the beat the game on the hardest difficulty level achievement. Just because I enjoyed the game. And that's usually how achievement should be. And everything else should just be cosmetic and game item rewards for pushing yourself past the achievement list. So once you start to do weird stuff, then you start getting stuff in the game itself for that. There should be 2 separate reward tracks, personally.
I like Stray's achievement, nap for an hour.
You like lay down as the lay down
as
the cat.
Yeah. A cumulative of an hour.
So you have to physically nap as the cat for an hour in place.
Yeah.
There's a nap button.
There's places where you can curl up and nap. Hold on, let me go get my screenshots. I'm gonna show you these.
But yeah, now you've gotten me thinking about how achievements should work, and whether I've never been an achievement person. I do like getting achievements for games. Like once I see it, once I kind of when I think a game is when I think about a game is pressing all the right buttons, I will then make an attempt to get all the achievement. But then it's like, yeah, I don't know. I really ignore achievement points so much and trophies so much until I don't. And there's such an industry around it. There's so many moving parts around it. Like people who really do farm achievement points for real that I almost can't relate.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in the cannot relate category.
Yeah, I don't know. I
cannot relate.
It's one of those things where it's a very abstract way of enjoying a video game that is so far away from why I'm enjoying a video game that I almost want to see if we can find one and have that person on the show so they could explain the method to the madness. Because I know there's a reason. It's got to be satisfying to have an extremely high achievement score, like a trophy score or whatever. So I just want somebody to walk me through it. And walk you through it. Since you're worse than me, you just don't want to know anything.
I don't want to know anything. I'll play through. I will play through a lot of my games twice. Like I'll play through once without any assistance whatsoever, and it's part of what makes the games be. I spend so much time in them because I will comb over every little goddamn thing I can and find all the hints, etc. Like just really comb it over, which then results into me spending like 100, 200 hours on a game. When people are like, I spent like 60, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. But then because I do that, I also end up knowing the game extremely well and understanding like, oh, this works this way because of X, Y, and Z. This is because of this. And then I also memorize it and I become like a walking walkthrough of the game. Like I could play through Inquisition on the hardest setting right now because I have ingrained in me where everything is and I know the easiest path forward to get through on like the hardest setting without wanting to pull my hair out. Because there is actually this is the easiest route through the game while still doing everything you want to do.
So I have a question then. Do you find that like achievements distract from you memorizing the terrain?
It can, yeah. Especially what it does is it makes me feel bad after I've done all the stuff and then I don't have like the number of what the things that I did don't match up with the achievements because it's arbitrary.
Oh, I see.
So the amount of work that I've put into it doesn't match what they decide is like the amount of work. So like you can put like 200 to 300 hours in a game and get 25 out of 40 achievements.
Huh. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you.
And like, no, like really, you can get there's some games you can get 100% completion in the game and only get like 30 out of 50 achievements.
Oh, I understand completely.
And I don't like that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about with God of War.
Feels bad.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think that's. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that either. Now that you've actually brought it up, like I realized one of the reasons I was so pleasantly refreshed by God of War's trophy list was the fact that I didn't need to do anything but finish the game, find all the doobobbies, do all the hidden stuff, find the secret armor, put it on, like I was planning on doing anyway. But it would have been annoying for them to tell me, like, no, you have to start the game over and play left-handed. And I'm just like, that would have been annoying now that you mention it. And good design also might extend to the achievement list.
I'm missing 2 achievements in Tales of Arise, and all that requires me to do is to beat the secret dungeon I'm in.
Both of those achievements?
Yeah.
Aren't you in the dungeon right now?
Yeah, but I just when I hit a point where I was just like, I'm good, I'm done with the game. I hit that I'm okay not 100%ing this game.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. When you get to that point, I understand completely.
Yeah, sometimes you're done before you're done. Before the game is done.
Oh yeah, no, I understand completely. Yeah. That happens to me in Destiny every season. There are like actual like individual nuanced achievements and triumph points that you can get for like doing extra things, like doing this particular seasonal activity without dying or with a certain amount of people or in a certain amount of time. And I'm already done before we get to that point. And those go by. At least 12 of those go by every season where I'm like, nah, I'm good. And then you'll see other people trying to do it. And I'm just like, that couldn't be me. I've already done this activity 400 times. If I didn't do it without dying within that 400 time window, then sorry. I've moved on, so I get it. Now you've really got me thinking about this, the design of achievement lists and how it sits with the actual game. I mean,
yeah, I hate it. That's why like it's been really refreshing playing games on the Switch, because if there are achievements, it's native to the game and it's built inside the game and in a place I can just ignore it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I find some games actually. Yeah. Like, I don't want to play through a game on super hard mode. I've already spent 40 hours playing this on normal mode and grinding out the entire map and everything. And some games, yeah. Yeah. It's a whole discussion. We will put a pin in this. I ignore achievements for the most part, except for the games I want to get all the achievements out of. And some games I can't because the achievements are just outside of my realm. Even if I'm enjoying a game, they're outside of my realm of playing, my habits, my rhythm of playing the game. So it just never happens. But yeah.
Like, let me look at one of the games that I've put a silly amount of hours into. So yeah, like Mass Effect Andromeda, right?
All right.
I have 103 hours, 103.4 hours, and I only have 34 out of 55 of the achievements.
How many hours did you put in?
103.4.
Oh. Yeah. Fuck that. That's a bad achievement design. You want to avoid putting busy work into your achievements, unless it's within the flow of the game. Busy work that helps build the player up, but like busy work outside of original busy work on top of separate busy work in a weird direction from the normal flow of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, so like some of them, like one of them's like death from above, kill 100 enemies while hovering.
Right. Like, what the fuck?
While cloaked, hit an enemy with a charge attack. Nigga, I don't cloak.
Yeah, see, that requires you to then have a different class.
It requires you to do a specific.
Yeah, that's not entertaining. That should be something that gives you like a cosmetic or item reward in the game. Probably cosmetic. You get some shader for your armor or something if you're doing that. That would just facilitate you as like an infiltrator. If you're an infiltrator, then you get the infiltrator shader and you get the big glistening crystal or whatever it is. But it shouldn't be an official achievement because I'm not a fucking infiltrator. I don't care. I deeply don't care. But it's enough of that. We are.
And some of these achievements I know are bugged because I absolutely 100% got them because I did them I'm on video doing them, like using a melee attack to hit 25 floating enemies. There's no way I didn't use a melee attack.
Yes, that is your entire playstyle in any shooter game. So you would have easily have punched several hundred flying enemies if given the opportunity without even realizing it. My favorite are when games show you the number in aggregate compared to the number they require. So it's like 497 out of 15. And it's just like, all right, cool. I nailed it.
In the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, I have 109 out of 127 achievements, and I have a playtime of 153.3 hours. And what are some of the ones I'm missing? Complete 5 missions with an Alliance soldier squad member from Mass Effect 1. That requires me to have a racist in the party.
You mean Big Ashley Williams?
Yep.
She's so racist.
I know. I know.
My enjoyment of Ashley Williams is one of the, like, nothing said times change more than how I felt it, because when I first played through Mass Effect 1, I love me some Ashley Williams, boy. My first playthrough, she was glued to my hip, boy. The second time around, I was like, like I don't think that group of aliens steals more than any other group of aliens, Miss Williams. I'm sorry, I hear you, and I don't know if I'm comfortable with your racism in the part. Like, you can be on the ship, but I don't know if I'm touching down on any of these planets with you and your racism.
Complete Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3 on insanity without changing difficulty.
Nope. That should be an in-game item reward. That is when you do that and you get the Resident Evil Infinite rocket launcher from Mass Effect and blow everything up.
No, exactly.
Resident Evil did a very good job. Resident Evil has all the achievements that give you things are tied to the actual achievement. So there is a cosmetic reward and a gameplay reward for getting the achievements, and 1-to-1 they fill up. So when you get everything out in the game, you'll find that you've gotten the max gamer score for it. Really got me going. I was gonna talk about Forspoken coming out next week. We were gonna talk about the white ass writing team. We were gonna talk about how we're gonna have to get it. It's gonna be a very complex an intersection of lots of black nuance supporting black projects when there aren't any black people on it. But it's like it's supposed to be. It's clearly it's almost like a trap where they're ready to be like, yeah, well, we see you niggers. We told you we made a game about the niggers and you didn't buy it. This is what I want. And it's
really frustrating because like they've done instead of like the devs are first of all like it's an all white writing team, which I'm not gonna lie, I was 100% expecting
100%.
Before hearing any voice lines. The devs had said some really weird, not great shit about Prey and have used some like super not great racial stereotypes involving black have the range to be writing.
Mm-hmm.
And they out here trying to drastically underpay black content creators from who will be like streaming this game.
Yep.
Because people like people with large followings, like they actually like get paid to do this promotions. They're just not out here doing it for free. They have rates. And so a lot of those big black content creators are being severely under quoted. for their labor. And at the same time, this is like probably like one of the, if not the only AAA game that stars a Black woman lead.
Yep.
And you've got literal racists and literal white supremacists going all ape shit and like boycotting this fucking game and being complete assholes about this game because they don't know how else to exist in this world.
Right.
And so it's sitting here putting Black folks again, once again in this difficult space of, well, like, do we support? Do we not support? It's a very complex, nuanced situation that just doesn't have like a good, just doesn't have a good answer for.
Sometimes when you're, sometimes like critique, and it's the hardest bit to acknowledge when your critique puts you in line with the wrong group of people. You then have to almost scrap your critique and start over, even if it's valid. We are, as Black people, we are going to have a different set of problems with Forspoken, 100%. But now we have to acknowledge how we like they're now, because the game is effectively triggering racists, that there's no world where we don't support it, even though we probably wouldn't in a world where they're not freaking out about it on the other side of the fence.
Right. So it just kind of sucks because, like I said, we're not in a situation where we have these games. Like we may be making games, but a game of this size is not being made.
Right.
Like we are not. Games with Black women leads with this kind of budget, artwork, team, etc. behind them are just not getting made.
Not at all.
So it puts everything, and we want these games to be made. We just want them to be made, respectfully and with Black writers and Black artists.
Right.
Behind the scenes, like having like power and being able to voice things and be taken seriously. And that's just not the case. And so it puts it in this really weird, awkward spot where, if we go all in on the game, then it's the whole catch-22 where you're damned if you do and you damned if you don't.
Right. And they
could just be like, oh, well, look, I mean, we made a game for the Negroes and the Negroes don't like it.
And then when all the Negroes buy it, they'll be like, oh, well, what we did was flawless. Let's run it back. Same way. Do it for Forspoken 2, 2029. You got it, Negroes. We got you. See you in a year. Goodbye. Before we can say anything, because we bought up all their game. And not buying it then kind of puts you in league accidentally with the racists. So it's just like, I do not want the bottom line. I do not want my final answer in response to this game's existence to be the same as Joe T. Bigot over there. So, you wind up kind of, like I'm getting it. We're getting it through the miracles of the patreon.com/unfridays. We're getting Bacon a copy. The official voice of Unreasonable Fridays, Erica Collins, is also getting it. Social commentator and thought leader, Jeffrey's also getting it. We're all going to convene after a certain amount of time to talk about it. And it's already
have our Black ass opinion on it.
Right. But we do have to get it just so that we get it and critique it. Do not want to mimic the actions of racists, even though from what I hear about the game and how the characterization of its Black female lead is, it's not something that I would buy normally because a lot of wrong things are happening, but because of the scale of the project, like Bacon said, you have to give it some thought to just doing it anyway so that we can know that it's not because, like, just so that we don't have to hear that the game did so terribly that we will never have another Black person in another video game, and then we'll just have more Final Fantasies but no niggas in it. Just more games like Final Fantasy.
God, I'm so mad.
So that's going to be a very nuanced episode, and we're talking about it now. That's why I brought it up, is because I want to begin the discussion now, because it's just one of those things where support as a Black person is always complex, and it's never simple as one thing. And if you're listening, and if you know, and rightfully so, you might not like your opinion, be ready for your opinion on the game to be revised based on context. And your opinion is not the end all be all, because sometimes context simply affects that. It's important to understand and kind of embrace everything happening around a project. And because some people are not, some people like played the demo for Forspoken, and they, you know, a lot of like black men TM'd it, you know, they're like, oh, I don't like all of a sudden they're like lead game designers and top tier writers all of a sudden out of nowhere, and there are issues with like radical speed and player movement and writing issues. And I'm like, I've never seen any of you niggas ever discuss any of this. This has never come up in any critique of any other game that you've been playing except this one. And you kind of have to embrace context, because then you just sound like Joe Bigot, and you shouldn't want to, and you should go to great lengths to avoid sounding like Joe Bigot if you can help it as a Black person, as a Black man. You should. And it's hard because, like I said, they're not doing right by us. The project's not 100% doing right by us, but it does have value nonetheless. And yeah, I was hoping they would be as respectful as the people who did Mafia 3. Those white people went to great lengths. They asked a lot of questions to a lot of niggas before they made that black ass game. That game ain't even that great. But the Blackness is good. The Blackness in Mafia 3, top notch, heavily reviewed, vetted, and researched Blackness across the board. Game itself, very mediocre. Did not enjoy it. Except the time when you kill racists. Only time I was directly shooting people who were directly calling you nigger directly to your face and shooting them back. Pristine. Other than that, it's okay.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. And Forspoken does not have that, clearly, already. It didn't have that when at first the initial media wave. It is getting worse over time. They are lowballing Black Korean content creators that would smooth the road, that would smooth this stuff over, by the way. A bunch of Black people laughing at your white characterization of this Black person would still grease the wheel for this project. Just letting Black people, compensating Black people to roast your game properly would still do wonders for the project than just taking your white ass and just putting it out there just off the strength of this white media public relations team and the white writing team and the white staff. And it's just like Bigot said, it's very complex it's a very complex thing to navigate, but we're gonna pull the trigger on it. Gonna get the we're gonna call it the Hater Symposium. That's the official group of 4 of us, the Hater Symposium.
We're the Hater Symposium. You know what? Valid.
Right. We're gonna get it, and we're gonna talk about it.
The Hater Symposium, Forspoken,
right,
edition. We're just gonna, whatever the 4 of us convene to give our Black takes.
That's right.
It's gonna be the Hater Symposium. You know what? I appreciate this. I accept this, and I am here for it.
100%. But yeah, there's that. And I think I'm just going to get you Dead Space, because for some reason Dead Space agrees with you, and I've never understood. I kind of sort of do, but I kind of want to see it in real time. I'm not saying you need to play Dead Space when I get it, but Dead Space 2 comes with it, so you get 2 games. But I have got to see you play Dead Space in life before I die. For someone who does not like survival horror at all, to be like, Dead Space is a vibe, boggles my fucking mind. I have to see it in real time. It's gonna happen. It's fair warning. Not for long, because you are overloaded with games.
Oh, I'm so pissed. I'm just like, I am too early in Pokemon to pick up all the trades that people have been holding on to Pokemon for me, waiting for me to like be able to trade Pokemon, and I'm just like,
It's been 2 months.
Just past the character creator.
Yes, people have been talking in the Discord about holding Pokemon for you for about 2 months now. So yes.
Yeah, it's just Harvestella took way more time than I thought it was going to. I was expecting like a good 2 months of that, like maybe, and we're halfway through January, and I'm like, what is happening? Very, very unexpected. And then fucking like Dead Space is next week, and I was just like, I'm not ready for Dead Space. And then Forspoken's in 2 weeks, and then when's Octopath Traveler 2?
Octopath Traveler 2 is February 24th, 2020.
Yeah, and that one for sure is going to be a minimum of 200 hours.
Minimum, yes.
I think, how much do we know offhand how many I put in the other one?
It had to be over 150 hours.
Oh, it was absolutely.
It had to be over 150 hours. I lost track of how much you did play Octopath Traveler. I'll freely admit I lost track of it, but I did know it was a lot of. You spent a lot of time playing. Yes, you're gonna be heavily accounted for. Heavily accounted for. But still want to watch you play Dead Space. Don't care. I also need to finish playing Signalis because I made jokes about playing as all these white men in all these survival horror games, but the best survival horror games do not star white men, and they're almost always indie games, AA games. And it's just very funny that like the top of the food chain there are these white men, but everywhere else below it, like the games that are really holding survival horror up, it's all not white dudes. So I need to finish playing Signalis. Yeah, everything got derailed by the very, very interesting achievement score discussion. Like, we could take a moment to talk about Justin Roiland, the creator and writer.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Listen, okay. I know it's a very popular thing to be like, oh, well, I never liked this at all when like something suddenly becomes like out of favor.
Right.
Aaron knows me. Aaron has heard every single unpopular hot take, every toxic moment from me, and can absolutely 100% confirm I never fucking liked Rick and Morty.
No, there was never a world where you liked any bit of Rick and Morty. No,
there's never. And how did I describe it? I was talking about this in the Discord, where it's just like the humor in Rick and Morty hits this discomfort that I don't like. It makes the this is too problematic to be a joke, the joke. And I don't like it. It makes that gray area that people step into the actual joke. And I'm like, that's not actually funny. And that's kind of how the show is written. And to find out one of the co-creators is on trial right now for multiple felonies of domestic violence and sexual assault.
Yes.
On his former partner. I believe some of it involves I forgot the word, but it's basically imprisonment.
It is a false imprisonment by menace, violence, fraud, and or deceit. Yeah, and 1 count of domestic battery with corporal injury.
Not sure what that means.
Well, if you could
Sorry,
sing,
sometimes the legalese gets into.
I mean, if you can,
where I'm like, that sounds bad.
if you can sing, it's a physical wound, just inflicted by force.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
right.
Yeah, and from the sounds of it, it sounds like they've been really trying to trying to go after him for a while.
Yeah,
because I think there's all. I do remember there was some hints of some pedophiliac activity. Yeah, but they've been definitely like these are again felony level charges.
Yes, it's problematic. We apparently his reputation has not been awesome before this. This is kind of just it bubbling over the side. It's one of those things where you kind of want to be shocked, I guess, if you want to try and like practice. This is a good opportunity to practice shock. I mean, we can practice shock.
Have you seen his writing and have you seen his face?
I mean, how do I? There is the problematic white creative face trope where we do look to the same white face for things, and they give us, for the most part, nothing but general problematic responses and bigotry. Like clockwork, but we still continue to. Now, it's not we, as in Bacon was never a fan. Chief hater, Jeffrey, for example, will also say, I ain't never liked that non-nigga ever. And, that's two of y'all. But as a country, we tend to look to a certain type of creative white man to give us our humor. And we tend to get the same problems with the same white dude. And it's just like I said, it's a good place to practice shock if you want to practice shock. You can read the headlines and read about Justin Roiland, and if you want, you can. I mean, you go, oh my God. You can practice. I've never known. I mean, you can try it. I mean, try it. Give us a good gasp, Bacon. my God.
Oh my God.
My God. Yeah, I see. It's a good exercise at home, but otherwise,
my personal favorite is holy shit, but with like more feeling. I just don't have it right now. Well, the emotional regulation is off the scale at the moment.
Well, that's because you're not. You have to really build up towards it. That's not something you can fake. You'd have to be a top tier fake shock person for you to.
Yeah, we're kind of 3 days past.
Right. I don't.
I don't even think I had it when I saw it.
Yeah.
All I could think about is how much abuse that was written into the narrative of Rick and Morty.
Like I said, we relish in
as a joke.
We relish our opportunities to have edgy white creators be very edgy, and then we're very shocked when we find they are in fact not nearly as fictional as we would have liked, given the subject matter. We just need to stop looking to certain people for certain things. Edgy humor in general is not necessarily in a good place. Right. So It's one of those things that you hear it and you read about it and you read the details of it, and like even his like even the hold on a second. Like even the studio Squanch Games, they were sued for sexual harassment in 2018. You know, they denied claims and then they settled out of court. You know, it's
I'm
like,
not gonna lie. Every time I see a settled out of court, I'm just like, nigga, you guilty.
yep. But like I said, these things is just, we just gotta stop looking to the same face. Like isn't this the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, blah blah blah. Like we're doing it. So I'm gonna just say we need to. Some of us have. Bacon has. Jeffrey has, clearly. But like, we just stop putting problematic people on creative pedestals. We can get our edgy content from other people. I promise you, we can get our edgy content from other people. Let me get one more gasp. All right.
I'm trying to do that without like actually triggering myself.
Oh God, don't. That's method acting. Stop, please. No.
No.
That's too
no,
much.
because I have a trigger around breath and breathing.
Then we will not. Then you do not. You focus on going.
Do you know how hard it is to find meditation that does not talk about breath or breathing?
There was I used to go to meditate. There was a meditation center in Oakland that they used to have the black and brown meditation sessions. And it would be a lecture from the meditation leader. And they would never mention breathing. They would just tell you to close your eyes and listen. And don't listen as you see fit. And they would do that. They would ring that whatever that bell is. And the person would just talk a little bit. And then give long pauses for us to kind of forget what they were saying. And it was great. But yes, it is difficult to find meditation. Meditation is not necessarily about breathing. It is about It is about your brain's journey and traversing that space. And breathing does not necessarily help you do it one way or the other, especially if you are one of those people that are very worried about meditating wrong. Or
you literally can't meditate wrong.
Right, you can't meditate wrong, but there are a lot of folks who, when they are given instructions and they cannot follow them, it immediately triggers anxiety response.
Oh, you know what my other favorite thing is I have aphantasia, so like I don't see images in my head. It's just black space.
Right.
So they're like, imagine this, and I'm like,
no.
Like, do you see the green? And I'm like, no.
No. Yeah,
it's just black behind my eyelids.
Yeah, bro. Listen, that is it. Like I said, meditation. If I had to lead a meditation, it would be very much. Focus on my voice and then stop focusing on my voice as you see fit. And wherever your brain goes is where it goes. And the freedom for your brain to go. Because usually what happens is your brain goes somewhere and then somebody's like, hey, Johnson, wake up. You're late for work. Where are those TPS reports, Johnson? Johnson, what are you doing? I emailed you an hour ago. Johnson, wake up. So all neurodivergence is interrupted by something flying at your head from someone who wants you to immediately stop being neurodivergent on the spot immediately.
I've got some unfortunate news for them.
Right. They don't know that because, again, people don't know things. If you were to lead a meditation or if you're in a meditation, the goal is to allow someone to be neurodivergent for a space. That is where the comfort will come from. If not immediately, but over time, letting them be neurodivergent as they see fit without yelling at them about something, because you guys get yelled at constantly for this stuff. You yell at yourselves. People yell at you. It's not peaceful. So you need the space to, and that's it. No breathing, no images, no chanting. Don't do what I'm doing. Don't pay attention to me. It's an hour. That's it. It's your hour in your brain. That's it. I'm not going to tell you to do nothing. If you don't like it in there and you get up and leave, it's fine. You run and jump out the window. With some mattresses outside on the sidewalk. You will bounce to safety. It's fine. You make a very good point about meditation. You no longer have to gasp. You need to focus on going, my God. That's
my God.
My God. That's
oh my God.
Yeah, just a general.
I'm gonna just keep it with the my God. I love that.
Like, yeah, so that's an old war. That's an old white man war thing. Never something.
Yeah, you know what? So you know this. I don't think other people know this. They probably will be like, why is Bacon talking like a random white person? I like, because it makes me laugh inside. I like saying really uncool white sayings, ironically, just throwing them out at people. Bucko is my word of the year for this one.
Oh, and do you know how to use bucko? Because some of those white people terms, I feel like if I use them wrong in the wrong neighborhood, I'll start a fist fight with an old white man. And I don't know. I don't know how to use them.
I've been in enough all white spaces to where I actually know how to use them. It's just when somebody randomly reminds me that they exist, I then start adding them to my lexicon to make fun of white people.
Okay. So how do you use bucko?
Oh, now you're doing the ADHD thing. I can't answer you now. And that's our show.
It is. It truly is. That is our program.
Very similar to how you use buddy.
Right. But if you use buddy wrong, like, have you ever used buddy? You've never used buddy wrong. If you've ever seen buddy
wrong.
if you've ever seen buddy be used wrong, like I've seen a black person use buddy on a white person, and that white person double takes. Because first of all, they're like, I've seen a white person in a black neighborhood, and the black guy will call the white guy buddy, and not be mean anything by it, but the white person will be activated, and you can hear the sirens going off, and then they look and they're like, I can't take this Negro anyway. We're in Africa pretty much. I got no shot. And then you see them stand down, and I'm like, that black person used the word buddy in a pejorative sense, and I don't think any black person here knew that was how. Just that white man, his shoulders straightened, and then they loosened, and I was like, that white man would have jumped on that black man if we were like in a whiter space, not even an all white space. It's a whiter space. So I just I like friendo, but I've seen friendo start fist fights outright. So I'm like, I like the word friendo, and I use it. I only know how to use it in an antagonistic sense, but I don't know if I want that smoke because, again, I don't know how to escalate violence with a white person, so I don't know. It's like these are terms that...
So, you know how you're really good at saying phrases that, like, people think you're being cordial, and then they stop and go, wait a minute, 15 minutes later,
right.
But it's been 15 minutes, so they can't react?
Right.
You're, like, you are uniquely good at that, like that guy on the plane.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm good at using that kind of language at them in the same manner.
Oh, so you're using the white man's cordial language to not be cordial in just such a way that they cannot react in real time.
Yeah, I think it's a Midwestern trait.
It might be. As a New Yorker, I haven't the foggiest idea how to do it. Seeing it in real time, I know I cannot. It's like hearing Mandarin. I can't repeat Mandarin without going extensive. It's like I can repeat German and I can repeat Spanish. I cannot repeat Mandarin without extensively going to learn Mandarin. And I feel like that. What?
I feel like you've witnessed me do this before.
Oh, I absolutely have. That's why I say I can't do it. There's lots of things I can mimic, and that is one of the things that I cannot. I hear it, and I know it's happening, but I can't do it. And it seems like it requires a certain amount of training that would require someone to sit down and explain, like, the origins of Midwestern white interaction. Like, I would need to take the, like, initial history course before I can take the basic language courses. To understand exactly, like, what is the goal of Midwestern white interaction in general historically. I don't know that bit. and not knowing that bit means I cannot use the language the way you use the language as you raised in it. So, but anywho, that was our show.
I'm just here being a whole menace.
It's good. It's for the culture.
For the culture.
All right, guys. Have a pleasant day. And see you guys next week.